my website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Got myself a new guitar here because I'm creating a new course called Speed Infusion that I'm very excited about. And of course I need a reason to buy a new guitar, right? And I need it because the course and the colors and the whatever. But I'm really surprised how well built this instrument is. And now you can see it's a Charvel. And I've been, looking at these guitars for quite a while because I really like the Strat shape and the neck and the everything. But from the pictures, it seemed like the necks was just pieces of wood attached to a very beautiful body. But it's smooth. It's like a satin feel at the back, so your hands move perfectly, and it's just such a very nice neck. It's flat. And it's a little bit wider than Fender necks actually, and I can't play Ibanez's because I tend to grab them like this when I'm phrasing. I grab the neck, and when the neck is as wide as on an Ibanez, my hands just get incredibly tight, and I can't phrase like I'm used to. So that's why I stick to Fender. Gibson neck is also a very narrow neck. This is kind of a middle thing. It's just a little bit wider than a standard Fender neck, which makes it, in the beginning it's like, whoa, are we having the same thing? But no, it's actually, I get used to it, so I don't notice it anymore. And the fretboard is totally flat as well, which I guess makes it easier to play fast, shred type of stuff. It's just a very comfortable neck. At least it's very easy to get the strings down to a low action. For that fast playing. Locking tuners, Floyd Rose type of trem here, just really nicely built everywhere on this instrument. So I'm very happy with it, and it coming from the Fender universe, it seems like this is a much more expensive instrument than it really is. But that's, because of Fender and the brand and what they charge for their, I think, because this would be, a lot more expensive if it was a Fender. And it's just it's so nicely built. Every detail is just perfect. So I really like it, and you can find a link to it underneath here if you want to check it out. I'm not affiliated with this brand of guitars in any way, so you can basically, hopefully, trust what I say. That's my experience anyway. I was actually going to talk about a little experience I had yesterday, or was it the day before? I don't know. I was watching X Factor, and I'm not really into that show as much because I'm always annoyed at things in the show. People show up and they haven't practiced at all. They never listened to their own voice. They never recorded themselves, and then they get really angry when they're turned down by the judges. Like any idiot could just, without practice, just walk in and be a musician, right? But this couple went in the other day when I was watching the show, and they were turned down by the judges, and they reacted with. But that was the second round. They went to level 2 in the competition, and then they was turned off by the judges. All the judges said, "You can go now because these things you need to work on. It's like you haven't got this, and you need to do this." And then backstage they gave them the They gave them the finger. They said, "Oh, we've got our own sound. They can just go." And a lot of people do that, and it always amazes me how that is. Sorry for the directness here. How that is just loser behavior. Like if you have to, any behavior. If you have to point to any behavior, that's it. That's what you need to not do in order to gain any kind of mastery over what you do, right? If you rather be comfortable in your own illusion that what you do is just, right? And the judges, they walk in respecting the judges, respecting the competition. They want to win it, right? And then when they get turned away, they make the competition wrong and they make the judges wrong so they can stay comfortable instead of going home and practicing, right? And taking what they got, the feedback, using it to get better. Right? That's why I call it loser behavior. And it's not because people are losers. Don't get me wrong. It's because they enter into a game, these two people. And then when they don't win the game, they go home and they say, oh, the game is wrong. The judges are wrong. It was all wrong and we're right. So you don't want to play the game then. Then just play your own little illusory game in your own head and just be completely detached from the outer world. That doesn't make sense. Right? If you really want to go into this, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. You have to be willing, all the time, really. You have to constantly be willing to be a beginner, to take on new things, right? To start playing something that you suck at, right? So you can be back to, oh, I don't know this. I feel bad again, right? You have to be willing to put yourself in front of people, play something that you're not 1,000% certain that you can play. So you get nervous, you get, oh, that's uncomfortable too, right? You have to be willing to face the critique of people you respect, right? It doesn't feel good. But that's the whole point here. Sometimes it doesn't feel good to practice either, but you do it anyway, right? You push yourself through that little inertia and you do it, and then it feels good, right? It's uncomfortable, and then you push through it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody guaranteed us human beings that life should be comfortable all the time. It's just an idea that we modern human beings in the Western world have this idea that it shouldn't be uncomfortable. I don't like that. My little comfy world. But that's just not how life is. And once you drop that idea that you shouldn't be uncomfortable, it stops being uncomfortable. Because you just break through it, right? You get a warrior mindset. Every time it's uncomfortable, bam, you face it, right? And then you get the reward. Life's greatest reward when it comes to music and anything is really just beyond that little uncomfortable feeling that you break through all the time, every day, every morning, right? Every time somebody says, I think you basically sound like, like my sister told me one time that everything I play just sounds like the same thing. That's not uncomfortable, but you just have to sink it, right? Oh, that was not nice. And then you move on from there. You say, how is that? Maybe I should use other scales than the minor pentatonic. Maybe I should learn other positions than one position, right? Then you learn from it and move on. And if you're willing to constantly be uncomfortable and you don't think, oh, there's something wrong. If there's nothing wrong, it's just how life is, right? If you're willing to face it and then move through it, then there's absolutely nothing you can't do. Absolutely not, right? Your own frustration, that's uncomfortable too. Your hopelessness, move through it, right? It's just, there's nothing stopping you. If you just, every time you get faced with something uncomfortable, you just break through it. Then there's nothing stopping you. That's the only thing.
Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.